We are live from Stuttgart, Germany, the 2007 Gymnastics World Championships. Day 2 of competition here on WCSN, the home of world champions. My name is Bart Connor, former Olympic and world champion in gymnastics, and I'm proud today to be joined by two-time world medalist Raj Bhavsar, former member of the national team, and glad to have you working with us today, Raj.
Thank you very much, Bart. It's great to be here.
Day 2 of 5 exciting days of competition will feature the men's team final. You see the top 8 teams in the world who have qualified into this session. China, the heavy favorite based on their qualifying scores and their recent history. They are expected to be challenged closely by Japan. You see the list in the first rotation. China and Japan will perform back-to-back in what we call Olympic order, which to the gymnastics enthusiasts out there is floor, horse, rings, vault, P-bars, and high bar. And they will finish up on the thrilling high bar event. It's likely to come down to the final performances today of the top 8 teams in the world as to who wins gold, silver, and bronze. You're getting a look at a team that will get a great deal of attention today. That is the team from Germany, as this event is coming live from Germany. Germany and the United States will open up on the pommel horse in the first rotation. And the German team qualified third. And the American men, a terrific performance and a big comeback from last year's World Championships, where the U.S. men placed 13th in the team competition. They qualified 4th with an outstanding effort in the qualifying round here and have a shot at a medal today.
Good luck and all the best for the competition. You've got 90 seconds.
Raj, it's good to have you here, and normally you're out there competing with the guys. How does it feel to be in the booth instead?
Oh, this is definitely the other side of the spectrum. It feels good, though. You know, I'm looking forward to an exciting competition today. It's really anybody's ball game with this 3-up, 3-count format. You really can't afford any large errors. And, you know, I believe it's going to come down to the last few events, and when the dust settles, the team that hits the most clean routines is probably going to come out ahead.
Well, those are the best 8 teams in the world. The top 12 teams in the world qualified from here to compete as full teams at the Olympic Games in Beijing, China. A lot of exciting gymnastics coming up over the next 3 hours. Don't go away. Gymnastics World Championships next.
That's why he's the king.
And they've got it by about a second. The new world record for the Americans.
Copeland is there for the gold medal. And it's a world record. The Americans are on fire here in the pool.
Tonight, the USA taking on Germany. Weiss sets it back and is chiseled off of Metcalf.
Match point number 2 for Germany.
Stopped! 23-24.
Now the United States has the lead.
Wilkins puts it away! And they will look back on this one as one of the great comebacks of the tournament for the United States.
WCSN.com brings you the countdown to Beijing.
What a performance there. It's going to be too close to call. And she does it.
Watch World Championships.
Unbelievable stuff here at the World Championships.
Be a part of every world record.
The new world record for the Americans.
Watch your favorite champions win medals daily. Only at WCSN.com.
The course is set. Destination, the Four Corners, where background, stats, and stories are mapped out each week. Race and track. Over and in the water. On the snow for winter sports. And on and off the floor. Meet the athletes, get the stories, and see the action as WCSN takes you inside the sport, inside the corner. The Four Corners, where only the best need apply.
and Derisa goes wide and slams on the brakes on her heel side turn.
The hearts and minds of all the Austrians are watching this jump for him. Nice air entry, good carry, and yes!
Wow!
Way down there!
The Wunderkind from Germany, the 2 shooting stages, is in 4th and hunting the bronze medal.
And Miller has the lead, and look at that, by about a half second over Peter Phil.
Cab 720, grabs nose.
Lindsay Kildow looking smooth, rolling edge to edge, accelerating out of the turn.
Oh!
Wow.
Once again, responding to the pressure.
Cab 9.
This is Hanu Monanen with 43 World Cup victories already. Could he add another one by the end of the day?
We are back live in Stuttgart, Germany for the 2007 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. I'm Bart Connor along with Raj Bhavsar, and we are set to begin the competition. China opens up on the floor, and the host country of Germany, all eyes will be on these young men, open on the perilous pommel horse. This is Eugene Spiridanov, who grew up in Russia and emigrated to Germany in 2001. The World Championships in 2005. He was 10th place in the all-around. Big expectations for the German team today as they qualified in 3rd position. High hopes for a medal for the host country.
That's right, Bart. And just to let our viewers know, it's definitely not easy to start on an event like pommel horse. A lot of nerves, and with the 3-up, 3-count format, you know, you really want to just hit your set the best you can and dismount and set it up for the next guy. And it looks like Germany's doing that here.
Nice combinations throughout that exercise. Clean execution. Eugene Spiridanov. A sense of happiness, but as you say, also a sense of relief that you got
absolutely.
through the first event, pommel horse, which is the gut check of all gymnastics. They are unlucky, perhaps, to have drawn pommel horse in the first rotation, but there is an enormous sense of relief, much like the balance beam is for the women, when you get through that event. China will be up on the floor first. Chen Yibing will be their first performer, the 23-year-old from Beijing. He is the reigning world champion on the rings.
And important to note here, Bart, that the Chinese have really improved on floor, actually. They have 2 finalists in this rotation coming up for them, so expect some big numbers.
Based on the qualifying rounds in the first 2 days of competition, the top 8 will go to the individual apparatus finals, which we'll have on the weekend.
Nice
live on WCSN. China, not only because of their history of 7 World Championship team titles, but the quality of the gymnastics, expected to come away with the gold medal here.
Wow, it's one of those combination passes in which gymnasts can gain some connection bonus tenths.
We talk about 3-up, 3-count. We'll also be talking all day about start values and what we call the A-panel score for the gymnasts. It's important to note that China, if you add up all the A-panel scores of all of their gymnasts who will compete today, their A-panel score would be 123 points. 6.3 points more than Japan, who qualified in 2nd place. So, in theory, if the team from China hits, they have a 6.3 point buffer over the 2nd place team. That's how strong they are in terms of difficulty in their exercises, Raj.
And that's, just goes exactly along the lines of to show how dominant the Chinese are this quadrennium.
The score for Eugene Spiridanov, 14.6. He had a 5.7 A-panel score, or degree of difficulty score. Robert Juckel next for Germany on the horse.
Tricky element there in the beginning, the full spindle.
Juckel's a 25-year-old from Cottbus, Germany. This is his favorite event. Some of these guys just hang out all day long on one pommel, Raj.
Yeah, they do. This is a very tricky event. You have to be so precise, and the competition format doesn't give you any flexibility for mistakes, for sure. So you can notice sometimes that some of these gymnasts might look like they're holding back a little bit, and that's just the nerves, and you can see the relief on his face.
He has some experience. He was a member of their Olympic team in 2004. Raj, you were an alternate to that team. The Germans, 8th place in the Olympics. In last year's World Championships, only 7th place. So the fact that they're contending for a medal in these World Championships at home is a terrific improvement for Germany. The score for Chen Yibing, 15-1-5.
And that's a good starting score for them. These next two guys for China really have an opportunity to really pull away on floor.
Chen Yibing scored a 15-0-7-5 in the qualifying round, so a little bit better in today's team final.
The Chinese were ranked 2nd on floor coming in.
Liang Fu Liang, 23-year-old from Beijing. This is his favorite event. Oh, nice.
Oh, very nice. Full twisting double layout. Notice the slightly large step. Out of that, that's a 3/10 deduction.
Oh, nice combination.
Those tricky combination passes. You'll see a lot of gymnasts ending their combination passes in rollout elements like that there to avoid landing deductions.
Liang Fu Liang, this is his 4th appearance in the World Championships. It's interesting with those front tumbling combinations. It doesn't take much to get off, and once you are out of balance or your timing is off on those bounding skills, boy, you can really rack up some deductions. You lose the connection bonus, you lose the value of skills. They're much riskier than they appear.
Absolutely. All it takes is for you to be under or over rotated, and that 2nd or 3rd skill can be completely off.
2.5 twister for a dismount for Liang Fu Liang. Scored a 15.7 in the qualifying round. So, as you noted, those combination tumbling skills really allow you to have a very high start value on floor.
You'll also notice that these more gymnasts are opting to do these combination passes rather than the larger tumbling elements. Not necessarily a direction I wanted to see floor go in, but these are where the gymnasts are getting the most bonus points, so it's the direction that they're going to head versus doing skills like layout, double-double, and triple backs.
See the score for Zhukel. He had a 5.6 start value. Pommel horse is one of those events. It's extremely difficult to get a high start value score because, different from the last code of points, there are no connection bonuses on the pommel horse and on the parallel bars. So you have to stay up there all day long to rack up some difficulty value, Raj.
That's correct. We call this the flop sequence. Several hand placements on one pommel. To stay well balanced, he was a little off there and he fought through it.
Okay, Thomas Andergassen.
And the Germans counting 3 hit sets on pommel horse.
Oh, you know they're relieved about that. Andergassen from Stuttgart. He's a local boy, so a lot of additional enthusiasm for him, but of course the accompanying pressure as well. This is his 4th World Championship appearance. The German team looking very focused. Liang Fu Liang, 15.325, less than his score in the qualifying round by nearly 0.4 of a point.
And you could see he was a little off there. It looked like the rhythm wasn't flowing as fluid. as it could have been, and the judges take notice to those things.
Zhou Kai ready to go for China on floor. He's just 19 years of age. He looks about 12.
I know, and this should be an exciting set, Bart.
Oh, isn't that something?
One of those DD combinations, very rare on floor exercise. Racks up some connection bonus there. Nice tuck double-double.
He was a top scorer in the qualifications on this event. He's the youngest member of the team, and this is, of course, one of his best events. Oh, my goodness.
Whip layout, Thomas.
And so clean.
Very clean. Difficult. Still going. 4 passes in, another combination pass. 1.5 full Rudy.
In my era, you looked for a gymnast to do a one big tumbling pass and maybe a decent tumbling pass for the final run, and the others were sort of filler, but this is basically his 6th tumbling pass coming here, and all of them have been world class.
That's right.
Wow.
Full in.
Well, the 19-year-old, his power is deceptive. He doesn't even look like he would be that strong, does he?
No, and it's an amazing set. It's jam-packed with difficulty, and he did it relatively clean. It should score great for the Chinese.
This is a combination of good power, but mostly technique, because you got to have power to do a double-double, there's no question, but the technique that he showed in those combination tumbling runs was impeccable. Thomas Andergassen, 14.65, 44 points for Germany in the first rotation. Good start on the pommel horse.
You'll notice there are some small deductions, leg separations. Those types of things in a pommel horse routine can really add up in the end when the judges decide to take their final deductions.
To the vault, Gervasio de Fer from Spain, 2-time Olympic champion in this event.
Good Yurchenko, 2.5. Slightly squatted down on the landing. That might cost him a 3/10 deduction. However, it's a relatively clean vault, and he's been doing it for a long time. Good start for Spain.
16 points. And Spain, on the event that is considered the highest scoring after this first half of the first rotation, will take the team lead. We're watching some performances on tape from the first half of rotation 1 that we didn't see while we were watching the Chinese on floor and the Germans on pommel horse. We're in for a treat here. Safoshkin of Russia.
Definitely look at his ring positions and his strength elements, how low he is, how incredibly hard that is. He's one of the players on rings, definitely for Russia. He's a world finalist, will be again here at Stuttgart.
He's a perfect example of an athlete who is essentially a specialist. He does not compete in the all-around, usually just does rings and parallel bars for the Russian team. Scored a 16.1 in the qualifying round. At 31 years of age, he's the oldest guy in these team finals. Hard to believe. He quit gymnastics, went 7 years into the circus, and then came back to be a factor. 15.95, a very good score for Russia on the rings. Back to the incredible combinations from Zhou Kai on the floor. 15.7 his score, about a half a point less than his score in the qualifying round. Interesting.
It's strange, right? You know, I'm not sure if he took something out of this routine. I definitely know that the small landing deductions after every pass, those can add up.
48.05. Now expect the vault scores typically to be the highest event score So all of these numbers are relative until everyone's done a vault, because you could be in 4th place, and once you hit vault, typically the team scores in vaulting are considerably higher than the other events, and it's all academic until everyone is at least gone through vault. Kevin Tan now will be the first performer for the United States on the pommel horse.
As a U.S. national team member, I've had an opportunity to train with Kevin several times, and I just want to point out how improved this gymnast is.
Beautiful.
Nice. One of those scissor to handstand elements, and he does it again. Just look at how strong he is.
Doesn't hurt to have those big guns for arms, huh? Wow.
It's a pretty good set so far. You'll notice a little bit of skewing on those travels. What the judges are looking for, that travel the horse with your body straight ahead rather than skewing off to one side. And good set by Kevin Tan.
That's what the United States team needs. They do not have the difficulty value of China or Japan, so they need hit routines. And Kevin Tan, the 25-year-old from Fremont, California, lives in State College, Pennsylvania, was a Penn State gymnast. We'll see him not only in these team finals, but of course he made the rings event final, the Battle of the Strongman, which will be on this weekend live on WCSN. For Japan, Hisashi Mizutori, set to go on the floor. Mizutori scored a 15.7 in the qualifying round. He's the 27-year-old. Originally was the alternate on this team, but his teammate Takehiro Kashima broke his hand on the pommel horse while training here in Stuttgart. And so Mizutori got the call to step up and compete for Japan.
One and a half full, Rudy. My hat's off to this gymnast. You know, it's not easy to get called out here and replace one of your teammates, but Mizutori's done an unbelievable job.
Sure has. In fact, he qualified for the all-around finals, floor final, and high bar final. Yeah. So for being called from the sidelines, that's pretty impressive.
Helped the Japanese here in the prelims. They were first place on this event.
The judges on the floor, of course, look for tumbling combinations, a skill like you saw on the floor, that hopping Fedorchenko, which is a non-tumbling combination. There are essentially 4 gymnastic element groups plus the dismount, and they add up the 10 best, highest value skills in the routine, 9 plus the dismount, and that is how they calculate the A-panel score. And, boys, you have to be like Einstein to calculate these scores anymore. In my era, it wasn't that hard, but now it's really something, isn't it?
It has. It has. It's gotten a little bit more difficult. You'll even find some gymnasts that, you know, what's going on here? You know, just to give you a quick breakdown, the easier skills, A's are worth 1/10, the B's are 2/10, C is 3, a D is 4/10, an E is 5/10, and an F is 6th. And what that means, basically, skills are rated according to their level of difficulty.
14.525. You see the score for Kevin Tan. Very good start for the American men on the pommel horse.
Up next, we've got the reigning U.S. national champion.
I really like David Durani's style. He's clean. He has adequate difficulty, but a really very polished gymnast.
I like to think clean and mean.
He was an alternate to last year's World Championship team. The U.S. Championships, he won the all-around, as you mentioned, and the parallel bars.
Very good here so far. One thing you notice is his toe.
Oh, no! Oh, what a shock. That was going so smoothly.
Well.
Now, what happens in that case? You not only lose the value of the skill, but of course the fall is a substantial deduction.
Right, and it may look like he didn't fall completely off the horse, but he came to a complete stop, which is the equivalent of a fall. That's going to be an 8/10 deduction. Look at there. You see his hand just missed the horse.
Hard to tell what happened exactly. It looked like his body position and technique was quite good.
Everything was good, and you know, this is what can happen in palm horse and in gymnastics. It's almost, these elements are so intricate. All it takes is a hand slip for you to be off, just like that.
15.425 for Mizutori on the floor. A few shaky landings. Mizutori almost 3/10 of a point less than what he qualified with.
What we're seeing here, Bart, actually on floor, the scores are dramatically lower than the qualifying session.
Takuya Nakase, the 26-year-old from Tokyo. Last year's World Championships, he was a member of their third place team and 6th in the all-around.
Nice tuck double-double. You're going to see that from a lot of gymnasts. It's quite popular pass. Again, it's a 1.5 full Rudy, and you see the little shuffle of the feet. Oh, a little under-rotated on that punch layout double full. Call that a Thomas.
This is the style these days, really basically 4 diagonal passes. The 5th pass, what we call a side pass, although technically it's not actually going down the side. And then a 6th tumbling pass. That is what's changed in gymnastics most dramatically, is that without giving the gymnast any more time than back in my era when we did 4 tumbling passes, now they have to squeeze 6 tumbling passes in the same amount of time. That's nuts.
Incredible. And the level of conditioning that takes. In my training, you know, you have to step up your regiment almost double to get through 6 difficult tumbling passes. Your legs definitely feel it when you're going into that last tumbling pass. You're in that corner.
Your arms, too, they feel like concrete weights, don't they? Gymnastics is basically an anaerobic activity. The longest exercise is barely over 1 minute. So it's not like an endurance like a marathon runner. It's more like the endurance of a 400-meter runner.
Right.
It's a full-out sprint for about 1:10, and
you're demanding a lot out of your muscles, pushing them to the max within that 1 minute.
That move is called a laid-out Thomas, invented by America's first male world champion, Kurt Thomas, back in the 1978. Oh, my goodness, Kurt, he won that a few years back. Looking at almost 30 years ago, Kurt Thomas invented that move, and it's popular to this day.
It's got to be pretty nice to see that.
14.225 for David Durante.
You know, actually, that's not a bad score.
14.5 was his score in the qualifying round, and he hit much cleaner. Interesting.
Very interesting.
So scores might be a little tighter on floor, but perhaps a little generous on pommel horse. Absolutely. Here is the reigning bronze medalist in the World Championships. He's one of the few guys in the world who can bring you to your feet with a pommel horse routine.
I love this
Sasha
routine.
Artemov.
Watch his lines coming up near the middle of his set here. This is that flop sequence.
Couple of minor form breaks.
That's right. This is a tricky element here.
Oh,
and he got it.
Full
here.
care.
Look at the extension and the leg separation of the flares here. The amplitude above the pommel. It's very nice. It's going good so far.
You know, this is a heavily partisan German crowd, but they have to acknowledge that is just world class on the pommel horse. Sasha Artemov with a little extra pressure because of Durante's mistake. But once he saw Durante's score, he probably felt, well, we're all right. We're going to be okay.
And I'm sure that's what he was thinking. You know, he just wanted to get through this pommel horse routine the best he can.
This combination is just insane. You look at his power. It's also deceptive because he's very lean, but the guy is very strong. The key in gymnastics is your strength to weight ratio. 15.075 the score for Nakasi on the floor. Nakasi had a 15.675, so 0.6 of a point less than his qualifying score. So the judges seem to be a little stricter on the hops and shaky landings than perhaps they were in the qualifying round. Oh!
Look at that. Springs in his legs.
Makoto Okiguchi.
It's a floor finalist.
We'll get a chance to see that routine again on the day one of event finals from Stuttgart. Okiguchi is 21. He's coached by Koji Gushikin, 1984 Olympic all-around champion. He's the youngest member of the Japanese team. Oh, sweet.
Nice. Transitional elements between each tumbling passes. Gymnasts usually do these transitional elements. The judges have placed more emphasis on these transitions during this quadrennium, and a nice full-in dismount. But I'll notice a little more control landings from this Japanese gymnast. It's a very good routine. It should score well.
Okiguchi competed on floor, horse, rings, and vault in day one of this competition. The qualifying round, the gymnasts 6 on a team, 5 compete on each event, and 4 scores count towards their qualifying total. In the team final, just 3 up and 3 count. So the way you build a team these days is much different than in my era. You build a team with a combination of 3 and 4 and 5 event specialists more than necessarily all-arounders.
Right.
Yang Tae-young of Korea on vault as we look on tape at his 2.5 twister. Yang Tae-young, of course, with his 16.075.
That vault starts at a 16.6, and you see the final score is 16.075. That means somewhere in there the judges had roughly about 0.6 in deductions, and a bulk of those deductions come from that large step there. It's a 3/10 deduction.
Yang Tae-young, of course, the bronze medalist at the Olympics, and part of the Paul Ham Yang Tae-young fiasco, which stayed in the media a long time, and it was controversial, but Paul Ham deservedly ended up with the gold medal at the Olympics in 2004, and Yang Tae-young was the 3rd place.
And that is one of the more difficult elements on rings. It's called a Maltese push to invert.
While we were focusing on the other teams, Romania opened on the rings. This is George Stanescu.
A little short on those holds.
Basically, the judges are looking for 2 seconds in each of those strength positions. He is moving through them pretty quickly.
He is. The judges will notice that, and there he's actually taking a little bit too long in that inverted hang. You want to keep the flow of the routine at an even, steady pace.
15.325 reflected in his score. So Romania not off to a terrific start. They're in 5th of the teams here. The Gymnastics World Championships continues when we come back.
And here is Bodie Miller. He's never won a World Cup downhill outside of North America. Split time coming up. And Bodie's got the lead by almost a full second. Will he ring in 2007 with a victory? Yes, he's into first. Bodie crashes across the line. A spectacular run by the American Bodie Miller.
The world converges in Stuttgart for the 2007 FIG World Championships for Artistic Gymnastics. The United States, China, Romania, Russia, and the rest of the globe have their sights set on gold. Pressure, competition, and desire will make or break the best of the best. There are no second chances in Germany. Champions will be crowned and reign supreme. Join WCSN for this competition September 5th through the 9th. WCSN, the home of world champions.
Kick. Verb. To thrust out the foot or feet with force. Noun. A feeling of pleasure or marked enjoyment. A thrill. Kick. Also known as a burst of speed at the end of a race.
Open your mind. They're neck and neck now. And to the finish line. All right, he's done it.
That is a new American record.
And they are off, lifting nicely here at the end. She does still have a shot.
Here comes the sprint. And here they come side by side. Italy will win the world championship.
All bets are off when Saturday Night at the Track takes the air on WCSN. See the world's best displaying the speed, skill, and focus necessary to win a world title. Whether it's on the pavement, at the track, or on the dirt, the finish line is all that matters. So forget win and place. The only show you need is Saturday Night at the Track. WCSN.com brings you a winter wonderland.
Let's get ready to take flight.
Pure poetry.
Watch World Championships.
Oh, good God!
Be a part of every world record.
This guy is capable of going really far at any time.
Watch your favorite champions win medals daily. Only at WCSN.
As we get set for round 2 of a 6-rotation competition, Sasha Artemev 14-7-7-5. A clutch performance after a slightly difficult effort. Kevin Tan was good for the United States, and then David Durante had an uncharacteristic mistake. Artemev followed up with his strong pommel horse routine. You can see why he's a world medalist there. Makoto Okiguchi, you see his score for this terrific combination. Opening tumbling run. We'll see more of him in the event finals. Later this week from Stuttgart, 5 exciting days of competition. Here are the team standings after the first rotation. Spain and Korea, who both opened up on the vault, are our leaders. Vault is typically the highest scoring of all the events. China, a solid start on the floor. Russia in 4th, strong on the rings. Japan was on the floor, and they were clean. You see the rest of the field. Romania, Germany, and the United States. We'll be back with rotation 2 in a moment. Don't go away.
Maybe Bekele's starting to draw away, and what do you know? Here he goes. Bekele, 200 meters remaining. World record mark for Gebrselassie in his sights.